Hey, what's going, y'all? It is yours truly once again. Well, it's time to flip the novel upside down once again. Now, of course, for those who have been paying attention, you've seen how the novel has twisted in regards to differentiating what the Sigma female actually is versus popular opinions and narratives. A lot of this flipping that has been done in this novel has been due to, well, the fact that there are some women out here who have been born a certain way as far as how they have been different versus other type of women who have became different on their own. They became a certain way, and that way is solitary, because it is rare to see a woman that is solitary in this day and age. But now that is starting to increase a whole lot more, especially as women outnumber men. So with all that said, we bring you up to speed now with the fact that, yes, I've made it clear previously that the women who were born solitary, they were solitary by nature. Those are your enigmatic women, your enigmas. And then you have those who became solitary by nurture instead of solitary by nature. And those are your Sigma females. And that's truly what it is. And so just to kind of bring you up to speed with how I'm about to show you another sharp twist in this narrative, let's just say that given what I've previously spoken on as far as Sigma females being rebels and being ones that got kicked out or rejected for the most part, let's say amongst that, there were some of those rebels that ran away. I would say maybe they had a bad behavior, a bad disposition. But as time went on, you started to see that there were some good things about them. You started to see how they just had to maneuver through life due to their pain and their trauma. So yes, some women who do stray end up finding their way back home. Kind of reminds you of the whole parable in the Bible that talks about the prodigal son. In this case, we're going to switch it up and say prodigal daughter. Because yes, sometimes you get a cat that runs away, but it finds its way back home. And so in essence, that is the story in a tale of the Sigma female in its trueness. The enigmatic woman is the one who I've initially have talked about having the Cinderella effect with the way her life is. And the Sigma female is the one who truly has had the prodigal daughter effect in regards to her life. Now, of course, with the enigmatic woman, the Cinderella effect on her life was one that she couldn't control. It was just based on her being born a certain way and her family treating her a certain way. Whereas the prodigal daughter effect that was amongst the Sigma female was more than likely something that this female put upon herself in many ways, and she just wanted to find a way to escape, get away, whether she had good intentions or bad intentions. Obviously, these good intentions came further down the road upon her rebellion. She tried to turn things around, per se. And a great example that I'm going to bring up as far as who I think could be this Sigma female that is good, who is a rebel with a cause, versus a rebel without versus the rebel without a cause. The rebel without the cause that I mentioned earlier was Kiana Barnes, and I mentioned that in my most recent video about my thoughts on the Sigma female, the previous one to this one. And so yes, moving forward, let's talk about the rebel with a cause. Who would be a good example of this? Look no further than Trinity on the Matrix. Yes, Trinity. She was a rebel with a cause. She was already a rebel within the system of the Matrix. I mean, she was kind of outside the Matrix, but she still knew how to maneuver in the Matrix because she was a hacker. And so obviously it took a certain type of man to deal with her, you know. It took a man named Neo. Now, Neo wasn't Trinity's equal opposite. He wasn't a Sigma male. He actually was an enigmatic man. He was truly an enigma, not a Sigma, but he hooked up with the Sigma female that Trinity was. That's another story. We won't dive into that right now, but just for me specifically talking about Sigma females, there is some truth to the fact that some women who have been rebellious once in their life, they can turn their life around. It's only a small number, though. I don't believe that there is a big number in the grand scheme of things, as a majority of females that aren't being real women, they either will continue to live in this system or they will find ways to cause chaos within the system, not truly rebel with a cause against the system and try to turn her life around and try to be the woman that she never had the chance to be or never tried to be, you know. And so the whole point of this video was really to point out that, yes, my thoughts on the Sigma female up to this point is that most Sigma females are rebels without a cause. But however, there are a few that are rebels with a cause. Even though you weren't born solitary, you became solitary based on your upbringing. You became solitary based on your upbringing or your lack of upbringing. Yeah, you became solitary based on your upbringing or your lack of upbringing. And you did want to turn your life around, despite some of the error in your ways, some of the things you chose to do that probably wasn't going to be suitable for you and for those around you. You know, it wasn't too late for you. You didn't end up a Kiana Barnes. You ended up a Trinity instead. And, you know, I was talking to someone about this. Yes, there are women who, despite their traumas, they may be better suited for certain men than just a woman who hasn't been through anything. And so that definitely represents the Sigma female in that regard. She's been through some things. You know, she may not necessarily have all those gifts of being solitary or being enigmatic, but she has some stories. She's seasoned, per se. So there is something that she definitely can bring along the way. She truly can be a Bonnie to the Clyde. You know, she has a story. And so that's in essence the true Sigma female from that regard. She definitely, she definitely is the rebel with a cause. And she is the Trinity that's going to go and shut down the Matrix. But I figured I come here to the same spot where I did my first Sigma female video. This is actually the same spot where I did my first ever Sigma female video. And I never thought I would get this many views on it. And once again, I'm very thankful for those who have been watching this whole series. Yeah, it's a little cold out there. But you know what? The Sigma female has been through enough cold in her lifetime. And she knows how to deal with it. You know, she's seasoned. Now, the enigmatic woman is gifted. She just knows how to deal with any environment, no matter what comes her way. But the Sigma female knows how to adapt to unfamiliar environments, or she gets accustomed to it. She develops a thick skin, per se, as she becomes more of a Sigma female. Signing out.